Hello, my name is Wycliffe, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to manage loads for your trucking company. I hope by the end of this video, you'll appreciate how it can help you better streamline how you manage your trucking business. With Flodda, you get to manage your loads from when you acquire them, assign them to a driver, and until they are paid by the customer. So let's get started with the demo. As you can see on my screen, I'm at flodda.com. That is www.flodda.com. You can find the link below the video. There's another video that I created where I demonstrate how you create a company, and in this video I'm not going to go over that. Please refer to my other video on how you create a company on Flodda and how you configure it. I already have a user account with a company created under that user account. So I'll sign into that account. As you can see, I already have a company called Demo Transporters. Under Demo Transporters, I have two options. I can manage my loads and I can manage my drivers. In the video on how to create a company, I do show how you manage drivers. That is, you click on manage drivers and then go add more drivers. If you drive for your own company and you don't have any drivers, you do not have to do this step. You can skip it, which means that you do not have to assign your loads to any drivers. But if you do have drivers that drive under your company, then you will need to set them up. So I'll go to manage loads because that's what this video is about. So on this page, you see the listing of all the loads that are listed in the system. You get to see all the new loads, the unpaid loads, the loads in transit, and the loads that you've invoiced. When a load is marked as paid, it falls off this list. If you need to see paid loads, you have to check this button, that checkbox, and then you can view all the loads that have been paid off. By default, it shows you loads that have been paid off in the current week, but you can change that to the current month, quarter, or year. So let's add a new load. To add a new load, you click on add. Enter the amount, $2,000, 900 miles, let's say 400 miles. The load number, load 1 from First Street, Indianapolis, zip code is 46271. Again, I'm putting in random values here. You will need to put in the actual pickup city details or address details for your case. I'll put in a random date. This was So the pickup date I'm inputting here is actually the date in the document that you get from the broker or the shipper. That is their preferred pickup date. It's not the date that you actually delivered or picked the load. It is the date. This is going to be the date that the shipper has specified for you to pick up the load. Let's say it's July 1st. And again, pickup time in this case is the time that the shipper or broker has specified. Let's say it's 9 a.m. and then we are dropping off to Chicago. I'm sorry, 2nd Street, Chicago, Illinois. Postcode we can put in 565451. It's a random value. Delivery date, again here we're putting in the date of delivery as per the shipper's request. Let's say they're hoping this load to be delivered by Thursday, July 2nd, 2026, 5 p.m. Now, you can ignore the revenue type field for now. It only comes into play if you set up your company as a member. Again, when you're in the video that I created on how to create a company, I did go over what the revenue type means and how it comes into play. In this video, I'm going to not focus on that, but I'll give an example. Imagine you drive on another company and you get a percentage of the load. Then you will need to specify what the revenue type, commission, and then you'd have to specify. If you say commission, then you need to specify the rate. Say you get 70% of the load. Or you can say you're getting paid per mile and you get $0.9 per mile. But I'll probably skip this. You can input broker details. I can enter the DOT number or the MC number of the broker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll use that for purposes of this demo. And then customer, let's say, is Walmart. And then we can save our load. So there is our new load. We can expand this to view more details about the load. As you can see, all the information is displayed. If we had multiple loads, you can continue expanding other loads and view their details. You can edit the load and you can delete the load if you created it by mistake, for instance. So once you have your load created, the next step is to actually update its status based on what transpires, between the driver who's delivering it and the system. So let's assign, maybe I need to say this. If you have any drivers in the system, on this page you'll get to see the assign driver button. But if you do not have any drivers, then it won't be shown. You will just update the load to in transit. But because we have added some drivers in the system, that's why we get to see this button. So let's assign this load to the driver. So July 1st arrives, driver goes to the pickup location and picks up the load. They notify you of the pickup, then you need to update the system and assign the load to them in the system. We have one driver, Peter Horatio, and then assignment date. Let's say they pick it up on July 1st. So you set that as the pickup date. You can set the pickup, the time you've assigned it to them. Actually, I need to take a step back here. The assignment can be done before the driver actually picks up the load. You can do this step when on the date when you notify them that they need to pick up that load. So let's say we notified them on July 1st when we got the load. We notified them, say, at 11 a.m. As you can see now, our load status has changed to assigned. It has been assigned to a driver, that is Peter. And yep, we have our details about the assignment. And then after the driver picks up the load, you update the load status to in transit. You can also cancel the assignment. Let's say the driver doesn't pick it up and you need to assign it to another driver, then you just need to cancel that and then you will assign it to another driver. So let's update the status of the load to in transit, assuming the load has been picked up by a driver. Pickup date July 1st, picked up at 9:30. Now, this pickup date and the pickup time differ from the ones that we set on the load when we were creating it. This is now the actual pickup date and time that our driver did actually pick up the load. As you can see, the status has changed to in transit. And if we expand this, you can see our pickup details. After the driver delivers the load, we need to update it to delivered. Again, you have to put in the delivery date. This is required. The other dates like pickup and assignment are optional, but delivery date or date delivered is required because it is used by the system to determine which period to assign the revenue in our reports, as we'll see in another video. So let's let's set the delivery date. This is now the date when actually the driver delivered the load. It's not the date that the shipper did request the load to be delivered. So let's say they deliver the load at 5 p.m. 5:15 p.m. As you can see, our load has been set to delivered. Now, as you can see here, we have our delivery details captured. As a reminder, when I was setting up this company, I set it up as a member company. It is the reason why you don't see the option to set it to mark it as invoiced. So I'll go and actually update the company type so we can get to see that. Edit company type independent, save. So when I go back to my load board, as you can see now, I can set the status to invoiced. This assumes that you've already submitted the invoice to the payer. Now, for member companies, we do not expect them to be doing the invoicing because that's taken care of by the parent company. That's the reason why you don't get to see the update to invoiced button when the company type is member. It's because the assumption is that that is done by the parent company. You just wait for your cut as a member. So anyways, once we've invoiced our load, we can update it to invoiced. Optionally, we can specify the date when it was invoiced. Note that before I can update it to invoiced, note that you can reverse most of these transitions. As you can see, I can reverse the transit. I can reverse it to in transit, and I can reverse it back to not picked. So you can always move back and forth depending on what exactly happened to the load. So anyways, I will go back and update it to delivered. It was 5:15 p.m. Save, and then I need to update it to invoiced. Maybe it was invoiced on 3rd July. As you can see, the status has changed to invoiced, and we have our details down here. Again, you can reverse that to back to delivered. Let's say the load is paid, you receive the payment, then you need to go and update the status of the load to paid. Date paid is required. Let's say it was paid on Monday, July 6th. As you can see, after we mark the load as paid, it falls off the list. But if you check this checkbox, you can see that, well, remember, by default, on this page, you only get to see loads paid in the current week. July to, as of this video, it is July 13th. So I would need to view loads for this month to be able to see loads paid. So I'll need to select this month as the period in order to see loads that were paid in the previous week. And as you can see, now I can see the loads that were paid this month regardless of the week. And I can expand that, and I can see all the information about the load. I can see the date when it was paid. And that's it. We're done with that load basically. Of course, you can cancel the payment to put it back into the invoiced state. But yeah, one thing maybe I need to mention is that after a load is paid, that is when it shows up in the financial reports as the revenue has been collected. Otherwise, it does not. Again, that is something I show in another video. I'll go back to my slide. So in summary, in this video, we have looked at managing loads, adding a load, editing a load, and deleting a load. We've also looked at how to assign a load to a driver and managing the status of a load. I'll be uploading other videos uh, on how, for instance, to view financial reports based on the loads that you have delivered for your customers. For instance, those reports can show you which loads have not yet been paid, which ones have been paid, and also you get to see the profits that your company is generating based on the period that you specify. So please do watch out for our videos that we'll be uploading. Subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when we upload new videos. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.